Live from the Cactus Creek at Ibri, he is the king of prime time, Ghana's undisputed entertainment laureate, and still the youngest old man in Ghana. Put your hands together, show some love for the indefatigable KSM.
The KSM Show.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Even before we start, there's this guy who's been watching me on YouTube, and his you can reach him at Bra Kwame. So at Bra Kwame, you made a comment, and this week I'm going to answer you. I won't say anything, so stick around at Bra Kwame. Anyway, folks, when we're young, when I talk about when we're young, I'm talking about maybe 65 years ago. When we're young and we're growing up, we didn't know how to insult people. Now, insults have become like one of the major strong points of Ghanaians. When we're young, the worst we can say to you when we're insulting you, oh, go where you. And when we hear, go where you, it means we have really insulted you. Now, why am I talking about all of this? My guest today, I'm not going to have any introduction. He's just going to show up on my set. And I'm telling you, anyone who doesn't know this guest, do you know what I tell you? Go where you. So in the meantime, put your hands together, show some love for my son, Wode Maya. Oh, I forgot the last one, eh? Oh, let's do it again. Yeah. Please have a seat. Oh. Good to see you too, man. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the spotlight is on you. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Okay, folks, by the kind courtesy of US Aid for Africa and Cactus Creek, we are offering a free hospitality skills training. Free. This is great news for the youth out there. If you are interested in the free hospitality skills training, well, Cactus Creek is organizing a whole week from April 29th to the 3rd of May on hospitality skills training. Let me give you some of the courses you'll be learning. 1, customer service. 2, front office and waiting. 3, spa services. 4, housekeeping services. And 5, food packaging. Interested ones, please call this number right now. 027 004 7008. Folks, for information, this is free hospitality skills training. So for all of you who ever wanted to be in hospitality, this is your chance. It is free, and the venue is Cactus Creek.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
The KSM Show.
We're back. And by the way, I'm going to have a great chat with my son here. And later on, here's a surprise. He'll be introducing somebody, but I won't tell you yet. But stick around. But in the meantime, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me once again.
Again, yeah.
Since I'm your favorite guest.
You are. You have to remain my favorite guest. Well, let me ask you this, man.
Yeah.
I think it's simpler for me to ask you, which country have you not been to? Because if I ask you, where have you been, we won't finish today.
Definitely we're going to finish.
We'll
Yeah, I still have more countries to go to. You know, it's more like trying to travel to every black nation in the world. It's not easy, but
Wow.
we'll make it happen.
Every black nation in the world.
Every black nation. That is the goal from day one since I started this YouTube channel. The main goal was to travel to every black nation in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw one that you did. You traveled to a black nation, and they too have the same funeral styles. You know how we dance with the coffins in Ghana?
That is Suriname.
Suriname.
Suriname. Yeah, exactly the same thing. The same culture, just like Ghanaians. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you go to the funeral, or they told you that they do the same thing?
No, they never told me that they do the same thing. So I wanted to just get to know the culture of the country. So I requested to attend a funeral. And when I got there, literally they do everything just like us. The only difference that I saw was the whole ceremonies at the cemetery.
Everything is at the cemetery.
Everything. So like the church service is at the cemetery. So as soon as the people come and dance, 1 minute, they put you on the ground.
Oh, really?
So it's just like you don't have to pass through the country to be buried. It just, everything is being done in the cemetery.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's why they have the service and everything.
Service, everything.
Do they file past all at the cemetery, or there's no filing past?
Everything is done there. Everything. I mean, it was shocking to see. I mean, when you go to the villages, it's kind of different. But in the cities, they do everything in the cemetery. So they built a church in the cemetery where they do everything there, and right after that they bury you.
Wow.
It was a very unique thing to see.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And once they bury you, that's it. They go home and
Yeah,
you know how
they go home.
and hang out, or they just go home.
I don't know about that one because
Okay.
I just went to
To
the
the
ceremony
yeah.
and that's it. But I know they definitely go home and then have some fun, you know, in the house, just like what we do.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Ghana.
yeah. Well, I hear, with all respect, I hear the guys call it the Bonyo party.
The Bonyo
Guys, me pamucho if I made a mistake, but that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So just tell me a little bit about
It's
what-
really exciting to see the African culture out of Africa. Like when I went to Suriname, the weddings that they do in Suriname is exactly the same way we do our weddings, the same culture. I remember I was a bit curious about how they do their weddings. I attended one, and I couldn't understand some of the things that they do. But my uncle called me and said, hey, stop misbehaving. That's how your dad and I got married. So they took, they took the culture, like back in the days, because they got to Suriname through slavery, right? So the culture that we had in Ghana back in the days, that is the same culture that has been passed on to the next generation. I mean, in Ghana, we have something, is this Samanfre? Where like when somebody is dead, they call the spirit to enter someone. In Suriname, they call it trance. You know, they have a name for it. I forgot the exact name, but I went to one of the evening events where the person that died had to pass through somebody to speak. So it's more like a ceremony. They dance.
And what did they come and say? How they died?
No, they definitely tell you a lot just to know who's the next of kin. So the spirit of the dead will come and speak. So it's more like everything about Ghana is in Suriname. Let me tell you some of the similarities that we have with Suriname. You know, when they have a shrine, and the god there is Opeti, and they say Opeti like vulture.
Vulture, yeah.
The vulture. So even when I got to that shrine, I was told that J.J. Rollins was actually there. In the same shrine.
The Opeti shrine.
Yeah, J.J. Rollins visited them, and they believe in the spirit of Cromantin. So if you go to the Caribbean, everything is about, like, the warrior, the fighter. It's called Cromantin spirit. So, and if you trace back to Ghana, Cromantin, we have Cromantin, the Fantis, where more like the fighters, right? So sometimes when you go in trance, they expect the Kramantan spirit to take over you. And they have names like Abena, Kofi, Kojo, like names like that.
Really?
Even it was shocking to see a surname called Abena.
Oh, that's a surname. That's a surname.
As a surname, but if you trace it back, it will be like the guy who was captured and taken to Suriname, the woman who was captured and taken to Suriname was called Abena. So they gave it to, that's the only name that she could remember.
Oh.
So at the end of the day, that
so they
becomes
use that as surname for all the descendants.
Exactly. I mean, Abe is called Abe in there. I mean, if you are the fancies we say Petua, you go Petua in Guyana. Abe in Guyana, they also call it Abe. In, Aben.
Yeah, like the horn?
Yep. In Suriname, Guyana, Jamaica, all of them call it Aben because it's like that was the only way of communicating.
Wow.
You know, when you see how we are in the farm and you can't hear each other, what do? We shout.
You shout, yeah.
Then this person responds. It's exactly the same culture. So they used to use Aben to communicate because if you go to the Caribbean, Suriname, it was more like people, they what do you call it? They were the runaway slaves. They left the plantation, went into the forest and formed their own various communities. And those ones, when they were going, they used the Aben to communicate. Until today, they call it Aben.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, the trip.
So you coming from Ghana
Yeah.
and experiencing all these things, were you shocked? Were you...
Of course I was shocked because, growing up in Ghana, we never knew anything about slave trade. So it's more like me just trying to do my own research about slave trade and then going to the Caribbean and to see that, in fact, the slave trade thing that they've been telling us, or we see the castles, I don't call it castles, the dungeons that we have in Ghana,
Yeah.
they are so real to the extent that you see the traits of Ghanaians or traits of Africans out of Africa. Listen, it was mind blowing. Like, I wish every African,
Wow.
or especially Ghanaians, would take a trip to the other side of Africa. I call it the other side of Africa because it's Africa out of Africa. Like, literally their way of life. You know, our was, cycle, last one, last two.
That's what they do. They're public. I saw you
Exactly the same
playing the mates swear.
Exactly the same. So I was in Guyana and I was like, last one, last two. I was more like acting like a mate.
Yeah.
And people were like, this guy just came to the country just 2 days and he
Yeah.
knows how to do this. I'm like,
You are both.
you guys don't know where it came from,
Oh, wow.
So when I got there, they gave me the new name, the African. So they were learning a lot about Africa from me because I was able to connect the dot to tell them that, hey, this is how we do it. There's a food in Guyana, in Suriname called kokonte. Guess what? It's exactly the same recipe for kokonte.
Kunkunte?
And they call it kokonte. I ate kokonte, and I couldn't believe that I was eating kokonte.
What kind of soup does it go with?
Okra soup. Like, it's just that even our mputompoto, right?
Yeah.
They have our mputompoto, but they kind of like add everything to it. You see the chicken in there, the fish in there.
Okay.
They throw cassava in there.
Everything goes in.
And they call it the cassava soup. And I tasted it, I'm like, I'm sorry, man. You guys lost it because you couldn't pronounce the name.
It's in
You
Botoboto.
couldn't pronounce
It's not cassava.
it. And they call it cassava soup.
Wow.
So I just wish, especially the Year of Return ambassadors, will rebrand the Year of Return, and then more like a way of connecting our people. Because I feel like it was more of a money-making machine, more of making people connect to each other. Because when I got there, I realized that they are yearning to know who they are, but no one is connecting the dots.
Wow.
And when I met the Prime Minister of Barbados, I was shocked to see that she's a fan of what I do. And I was like, Your Excellency.
Oh, she follows you?
Yeah. She invited me to the State House, and it was kind of like, I was shocked. I was
Wow.
Listen,
So you went as a guest of the president?
yeah, it's like I made it in life.
Wow.
Yeah,
So what do you do there? You have to give a speech and explain.
No, I went there to meet her because that was my first time seeing her. So I just went to meet her and also got a chance to speak to her. And when I was speaking to her, I was like, can we start bridging the gap? Not like officially, more like on political level, but the ordinary level.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
That's what you're doing. I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, I'm doing it, but I'm using my own money. Because it will be very important for the government of the day or African leaders to support what we do for us to connect. Because me, I see woman from crowd medal, like just get me there and let me just connect, because you cannot connect from the top. You have to connect from the grassroots. And
that's where you are.
is where I am. I don't care. I mean,
No, but let me ask you, because there are some situations I've seen you in.
Yeah.
I don't remember where you were, and I don't think they take their regular baths with water, anything. They just smear themselves with things. I saw you happily smearing and singing. You say, "I quite agree." Anything faze you?
you know, so we are telling the story in an African way. So you have to embrace every single African culture, no matter how you see it. So I remember going to, Namibia, and we have to spend a night with the Himbes. And we woke up in the morning, they were like, we have to shower. And I was like, oh my goodness, finally, water's gonna touch my body. And I got there like, man, I was like, where's the water? It's like, which water? To them, their culture, water does not touch their body. You're shocked. So what they need is the red, more like they call it, it's more like a red kind of substance, like red powder, which comes from the soil, and then the oil from the cow oil, and then they
mix it.
They mix it together, and then you smear your skin with it, and which shows that you've showered for the morning. So I was like, you know what? Is that the shower you guys are taking about? It's like, okay, let's do it.
I think that's what I saw.
Yeah.
You were smearing yourself
Oh
with.
my goodness, and it took me like 7 days to wash that thing for my skin, man.
So they don't. That's it. Where's our Jerry?
Water doesn't touch their body. I was shocked just like the way you are shocked. But like I said, we're telling the story in an African way because it's protect them from the sunlight, because their bodies are always exposed. Bras, no bra, nothing. So I remember I had to pull off even my panty. I was wearing boxer shorts. I pull it out because there it's a free world. Everything has to be free.
So you were stark naked?
Yeah, I was naked, but I had to put on, they put on more like the goat, the skin.
The skin, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I had on my waist. But the rest, everything was just free. Yeah, I was a free man.
I like that. You're a free man. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've seen so many cultures and you have experienced some of these things. What is it that you saw that anything shocked you that but this one, yeah. Have you come across anything like that?
I think almost all the time. When I went to South Sudan, and then I went to see a tribe that, to them, when they dye their hair with cow urine, women tend to love them. And I'm like, wow, can't wait to see all these women loving me. But to see that I have to pull my head, for the cow to pee on my head. So it's more like cow peeing, and then you shower with the cow urine. That was weird,
Wow.
I couldn't do that, but I just had to just stay back and watch. But to them, that's the coolest thing ever. If you
Really?
Yeah, if you if the cow urinates on your head, you use the cow urine, women tend to love you more. That's also what they use to dye their hair and all of that. And I mean, that was really weird. I think that's the weirdest thing that I've ever seen, but that's their culture.
If you didn't try it?
No, but what I tried was the cow, how do you say, the shit of the cow.
The bullshit.
That's the bullshit. That one, you dry it up, you dry it up, and then you smear that on your skin. I did that one.
That one you did?
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Because that one I feel like it was so cool, man. So to blend in, because everyone wakes up the next morning, it's more like that's what they use on their skin, you know. So as soon as I got there, I felt different. So to look like them, I had to go and take that shower.
Wow.
And then yeah, I think they became so cool with me when I did that.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's when they started telling me the stories, and we took it from there. Yeah.
I guess they like it when you're full of shit, man. Pardon my language, guys.
It's all right. That's how it's supposed to be.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I see a lot. I see a lot when you travel, but what travel does to you is to be open-minded, to embrace each and everyone's culture, you know, because like even them drinking cow milk raw from the cow, you know, they put it on fire, the blood of the cow, they boil it. So it's like when I went to, oh my goodness, I forgot this one. So when I went to the Maasai tribe in Kenya, and I was like, oh, it's so cool to be Maasai. And I'm like, early morning, what are you guys going to eat? They said, we're going to drink the blood of a cow. I'm like, what do you mean? So I was there when they pierced the cow from the neck, and they collected the fresh blood, and they started sharing, and they brought it to me, and I'm like, God,
wow.
am I really doing this?
Really?
I became a vampire today, you know, but you sometimes have to respect them.
Wow.
I remember like I did that and I posted that on social media and people started quoting the Bible verse of me, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. This is people's culture. You
Wow.
see, when you find yourself in certain areas, no matter what your belief is, you have to, you know, I've been in a country where everyone was fasting, Ramadan, and I had to fast too. For 7 days, man. I was not eating because in the morning, there was no food in the country.
Wow. Everybody's fasting.
Everyone is fasting, so we had to fast too. And guess what happened to me? On my last day, when I was leaving the country, I was wearing the jalabia. But let me tell you the story, an interesting story that I've never told anyone. So our tour guide was a lady. We're in a Muslim country, and our tour guide was a lady, so she was leading us to the markets. I wanted to give back to the people by cooking for the less privileged. So we're going to the market to buy a cow. So we got there with the lady. Now they asked me, are you a Christian? I'm like, yeah, I'm a Christian. I think that was the worst crime I ever committed. 2-3 minutes later, we were mobbed, and people started spitting on the lady. So they thought like the lady brought a Christian man, right? So we had to run because they are coming for us. This is a market. So he had a megaphone. Oh, no, I don't know what they're saying. The next
Get
thing,
those Christians.
Oh my goodness. So we started running, get into the car, and then we drove off. So since that time, I went to buy jalabia. So
yeah.
If anyone asks me, how are you? And say, Allahu Akbar, you know, like
yeah.
I was moving blending in. So when I was leaving, I forgot that it's still Ramadan. So what happened was, I was in the plane, they were sharing the food, and I just got my food. I was about to eat. Then these guys just stood up, like, haram, you know, like, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I forgot. You know, so I felt like.
So this is assume you were Muslim because
I assumed that I was a Muslim because I was wearing the clothes. But I bought the clothes because
to
of
blend
what
in.
happened to us.
Yes.
So I had to blend in. And it was one of the scariest days of my life. I thought I was going to die. And my camera guy can't stop talking about that story because it was two of us, including the lady. It was that terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, that terrible.
Like you have the nerve to eat on Ramadan,
Yep.
thinking, oh, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it was not time for them to break the fast.
And you were eating.
And we were in the plane. So I thought, being in the plane, not mean like.
But you're wearing the.
Yeah, but because you're coming from a Muslim country to Addis Ababa, almost everyone in the plane that time was a Muslim. So that got me into trouble.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any more exciting troubles you got into?
Togo border. That was exciting, eh?
I will let you hold on. I'm going to take a commercial break. When we come back, I want to hear about Togo border. Stick around.
That was exciting trouble.
Stick around. There's some more surprises coming up. We'll be back soon after this commercial break, and we'll be talking about the Togo border. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Okay, folks, by the kind courtesy of US Aid for Africa and Cactus Creek, we are offering a free hospitality skills training. Free. This is great news for the youth out there. If you are interested in the free hospitality skills training, well, Cactus Creek is organizing a whole week from April 29th to the 3rd of May on hospitality skills training. Let me give you some of the courses you'll be learning. 1. Customer service. 2. Front office and waiting. 3. Spa services. 4. Housekeeping services. And 5. Food packaging. Interested ones, please call this number right now. 027 004 7008. Folks, for information, this is free hospitality skills training. So for all of you who ever wanted to be in hospitality, this is your chance. It is free and the venue is Cactus Creek.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
Hi, my name is Angela Metal, a massage therapist at Cactus Creek. My job is simply to pamper you with the 3 R's, to relax you, to revitalize you, and to rejuvenate you. Come and let me pamper you.
055 039 5007.
Most of you are loving my jacket. Mr. Sao, I am if rough. The jacket is provided by Asepa Essentials. So if you want some, this is the number to call.
0247 661983.
So call Asepa and get yourself a pretty decent jacket.
The KSM Show.
Folks, just before the commercial break, I am told that I said the Togo burger. Togo burger is border, not burger. so I've corrected me. So what happened? Tell me this exciting thing at the Togo border.
So I'm an advocate for borderless Africa. I'm looking forward to see more Africans travel within Africa freely. But traveling in Africa seems like you are a criminal in your own continent. So I was going to Togo, and we got to the border, and we had to go through so many processes. I mean, I'm carrying an ECOWAS passport. I have my Ghana card. that I was told that even the Ghana card, I can go everywhere that I want to go to. And I got to the border, and they're like, we need to pay this amount of money before. And I'm like, can I get receipts after that? They said, no receipts, you just pay and go. And I'm like, I'm not paying today, not tomorrow, if you're not giving me receipts. So back and forth, they realized that I had a camera in my hand. So these guys, one of the things that they are so scared of is the camera, because they know that their faces will be shown. And so when they saw the camera, they tried to take the camera from my hand to destroy it. I'm like, I'm not gonna allow you today nor tomorrow. They called every security, like, come, he's old. I'm like, I'm grabbing that. And the fact that I had so many people there, African American women that time, and they were like, you know what, we are not gonna allow you to take the camera.
Wow.
So they were outside saying, release him. I felt like Mandela.
Really? They were chanting for a release?
Chanting, release him, release him, release him. And I was just grabbing my camera that you're not taking it from my hands today, nor tomorrow. Because if these people get hold of that camera, they will destroy it. So that became a brawl in there. Later on, they calmed down. And I'm like, you won't get this camera, no matter how hard you try. You know, so from there, they realized that, okay, this guy is hard to deal with. And they called me their boss, came, spoke to me, and then I left without paying. Because I'm telling them that, why should I pay?
Without the receipt?
Without a receipt. And I have an ECOWAS passport. It doesn't make sense.
Do some of them recognize you're this traveler guy, or
in Ivory Coast? When I was on my way from Ivory Coast to Ghana, they asked me the same thing, and I'm like, you know what? Ghana is just here. If you don't give me my passport, I'm just going, and I'm not paying anything. And then they were like, who are you? I'm like, I'm nobody. Just give me my passport. They gave me my passport, so they're not gonna stamp in. And I'm like, if you're not stamping in, I'm going. On my way going, and I saw the immigration officers running. So I think they got to know who I am. So they came back and they said, oh, please give us the passport. And I'm like, what do you need my passport for? So no, we're so sorry for what the officer did. We're going to give you the stamp. And that's how they ended up stamping my passport in Cote d'Ivoire.
Wow.
So it's sad to see that they have to know who you are
before they give you.
That is one of the reasons why I don't like protocols. I always want to travel like an ordinary African, just to see the struggles that an ordinary African goes through. I think it's about time, if our leaders really care about the people of the continent, and really care about their speeches that they give every single day, it's about time for them to just drop their V8s that they drive on roads that they know that
and see what the people go through, that they claim to be representing.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't have a single leader on this continent that really care about his people, and that's a fact.
And you know the sad part? Most of them have come from those exact conditions and have totally forgotten. I think there's something about power that makes you disillusioned. I don't know.
I feel like it's about time for the people to hold these leaders accountable. It's about time for us to put our party colors aside. You know, we've been foolishly blinded with political colors to the extent that even when you see the truth, and you want to talk about it, somebody will come and attack you.
Yes.
I mean, I was in Takrady. I couldn't drive in Takrady. The entire roads in Takrady is destroyed. And when you talk about it, there were people in my messages threatening me, asking me, who paid you? Takrady is under construction. I mean, what do you mean? Even if you want to put a city under construction, one road at a time, you don't just destroy the entire road and say it's under construction. And I keep telling people, man, it's about time. Ghana belongs to Ghanaians. It doesn't belong to any political party.
Pacho Bohobio.
Ghana belongs to Ghanaians.
Show some love, man. Show some love, man. Oh.
You know, they're using politics to destroy the country.
Yeah.
And very soon, very, very soon, it's like we are sitting on a time bomb.
Yeah.
Like, a leader have to represent the people, not the party. You have to put the country first before your party. And this is what I don't understand. Like, I mean, if you see that the policies of this political leader doesn't make sense, why are you still supporting it? Why can't you just speak truth to power?
No.
But everyone is like, no, we belong to this party and we're dying for it.
Yes, yes.
It's a shame.
It's so sad.
To see even our parents acting the same way. And the saddest part is the youth of today. that are following these political leaders blindly without being able to come up to their senses that what we're doing will affect our next generation. It's just sad.
And those of us in this generation, we have piled all this debt for the youth to come and pay, and they don't seem to realize that all the debt that we are piling is going to be time to pay back in their time. Nobody realizes that, you know?
You're living in a country with no national development plan. What do you expect?
Yeah.
It's more political manifestos than a national development plan. I don't know if I can say this on your show, but I would love, you know, I don't have any political affiliation, but I would love to have all the major political party leaders for this year's election to sit on one table. If they truly care, they should sit on one table. Let's do a live session, no pre-recorded stuff, and let the audience, let the citizens
question them.
And if you really mean business, I'm just telling you that.
Show some love, man. Show some love, man. No. Yeah.
About time.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too much because I love this country so much.
Yeah.
And the more you travel out of Ghana, you realize that Ghana got a great name out there. The name Ghana opened doors.
Yeah.
But when you come back to Ghana,
we don't realize the value. Yeah.
Has been destroyed with politics.
With politics.
With tribalism. Like when I went to the Caribbean, that's when I found that the tribalism in Ghana is so strong to the extent that if I say anything about in Ghana, people will be like, no. Just say I can't. This is how they do their own things. Oh, just say the Northness. I'm like, listen, Ghana belongs to Ghanaians. When I left Ghana, no one knows that I'm Ashanti or all they know is that I'm holding a Ghanaian passport.
Yeah.
Like, we should learn to put certain things aside and fight for what makes us better.
Show some love, man. I mean, this is deep. I love it. You know, one time in one of my shows, it was like how I crack jokes.
Yeah.
And I did a joke about a talk show host in the morning who was going to be talking about kidney disease and how kidney disease is affecting Ghana after his commercial break. So they go for commercial break and he comes back and says, thank you very much for coming back for the commercial break. As I said, we're going to be talking about kidney disease in Ghana. For the NDC side, we have Dr. So-and-so, and for the MPP side, we have Dr. I'm like, hey, that is Ghana. Is kidney a political issue? But that's the nature, that is how low we have sunk. Yeah. You know, it's like I'm joking, but that's how low we have sunk. So I'm kind of relating to what you're saying, your frustration that everything is politicized.
Everything. Literally everything. You can't speak truth to power. Like, I get scared. You know, I would love to talk about certain things in this country, but I get scared.
Yeah.
I get scared because, you know, you have audience that follow both political party, and whatever it comes out of your mouth, people might think that you've been paid.
Yeah.
I mean, recently, I was in Jamaica when MTN South Africa wanted to promote their app. So they reached out to me, Momo app. But I was in Jamaica, right? So I didn't know what was happening in Ghana. So I did an advert by saying that I think lights went off and my wife is like, Doomsaw. So, and I'm like, there is no more Doomsaw in Ghana. There is no, the reason why your light is off because there is no money on your MTN app.
Yeah.
Listen, this was just a Momo South Africa app.
Yeah.
That's for Ghana. When the video came out, God, how much did MPP government paid you? Like, everyone was just literally attacking that I've been paid by MPP to say that there's no more Doomsaw in Ghana.
Yeah.
And guess what? Yesterday, my light went off for 24 hours. And then I edited the same video. Okay, and I came to post and I'm like, I'm the one who said there is no more Doomsaw in Ghana, but they've taken my life for 24 hours. Now, initially, I was told that I've been paid by MVP, and this time around, NDC have paid me. It doesn't make sense.
That's how petty it is. Honestly.
You literally can't speak truth to power.
That's how petty it is. Yeah.
It's sad.
It's very, very sad. Very, very sad.
But I know it's get better someday, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What gives you the hope, though? Because I encounter this a lot. You know, people talk about how it's stressful and how this and how that. It all looks gloomy. But I say, but I know one day to be. What gives you that?
I meet people that think like me. I meet young people that love the country with all their heart. So I know someday, definitely, we'll take over. Don't worry about that. Someday, I know there are people coming. It's not going to be like this forever. I know. I know they are listening to me. I know they are yearning for that day. That someday.
Can you hazard a guess as to why they're all there quietly? They are waiting for that day, or
you know, I think people are planning. People are educating themselves, knowing that okay, this is how far the country has come, and how do we bring the country back to the glory that it deserves. So I believe the right people will someday come. I mean, I wish even the people that we have right now would think about Ghana first before their political party.
Yeah.
I remember there's a guy who wanted to be president, and they asked him a question, why do you want to be president? He said, to serve the party better. I don't know if you remember that.
yeah. To be flag bearer for a certain party.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't like politics, but it's just sad to see the country in the States. Yeah.
I think one of the problems is this kind of mediocrity that this whole nation has been engulfed in, you know, and the mediocrity starts from the top all the way down. And the saddest part of the mediocrity is that those who are the most mediocre are not even aware that what they are doing is mediocrity. To them, it's a standard thing.
Yep.
So how do you fix that?
I think the more
If they know it's mediocre, they are willing to listen and learn. But they think, hey, I've arrived.
I think it's about time for us to work on the minds
Yeah.
of Ghanaians. If you work on the minds of Ghanaians, they will wake up someday, you know, to know that, I mean, we deserve better as Ghanaians. I mean, somebody cannot construct road, and we are so happy that this person constructed a road. That's what you need. You deserve it, right?
Basic
That's
need.
your basic needs. So it's just sad to see the mediocrity that you're talking about,
Yeah.
things that we celebrate, that
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, knowing
Yeah.
that a government builds school and they will be like, so this government, when he came to power, he built school. Come on, that's your basic needs.
Schools cry, they welcome you. We have had time where we have commissioned public toilets. There's a whole fanfare. There's a whole fanfare because a new public toilet is being commissioned.
You know, so when my father was alive, my father used to give the villagers. So we had a farm in the village, right? So anytime he harvests, he gives it to the villagers. And then when he passed on, during COVID, I was like, you know what, let me just fill the gap that my father left. So COVID time, I bought rice. I didn't have a farm, so I bought rice and stuff and went to give to the villagers. When I was about to leave, or any moment that I go to somebody to give him the rice and the oil, they're like, oh, which political party, so that I can vote for you.
Wow.
That's how they've reduced your vote to.
Yes.
So what
That's scary though.
No, very scary. And so what they do is that they keep us poor, so that at the end of the day, you need us to survive.
Yeah.
And that has been the game, like
Yeah.
every 4 years.
Yeah.
They do the same thing every 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's just sad that your vote is equal to the guy in the village.
And you're so right. A politician has been known to have said that, oh, this is all they need are t-shirts.
Yeah. It's sad.
You know?
It's really sad. And I just hope that we'll start. There's going to be another revolution of mindset. It's not, I mean, the revolution is also about mindset. If you'll be able to change the mindset of Ghanaians, trust me, we'll get
What will it take to change the mindset of Ghanaians?
teamwork,
Teamwork.
not individual work, because the harm is more than you see. So it's more like teamwork, people coming together, start from the grassroots, you know. I mean, if you start empowering the people, right? If you start empowering the people, you are at the same time empowering their mind. Right now, we are not empowered. Bring me food and I'm okay. And that's why it has to be something like a fuel, you know, like fuel. You drop the fuel in every part of this country.
Yeah.
So when you put the fire, it starts burning.
Yeah.
You can't just come up and say that you want to.
But the practicality of the thing is,
Yeah.
the person is broke, the person is hungry. For them, their immediate need is food. You know, that person, you can't go to them and even try and talk about, Charlie, we need to be aware. You know, more political awareness is too low.
And that is what I talk about as the fuel. If anyone wants to start a new thing in this country, don't just wake up and say that you want to be the president of the country. Right? You need to start from the grassroots. You need to put that fuel. You need to have somebody in every village empowering the people to feed themselves, empowering them. You know, I mean, if you go to villages and they are empowered, your 5 Ghana cedi or 20 Ghana cedi does not do anything to them. At the end of the day, there's nothing like that that is empowering the guy in the village. So it's easy and accessible for the politician to go in and give him the money. But if you really want to do anything, if you want to come up to be who you want to be, if you want to change this country, trust me, it's not just one person. Like every village in this country, you need to have a representative. And that representative has to be like, it's about time to empower the minds of the villagers. If you empower the minds of the villagers, trust me, you dare not to go to that village and say that you're going to give them 26.
Yeah.
Because now they grow their own food. They have the solar power that they generate electricity by themselves. So it's going to take some time. That's the practicality of what I'm talking about. It's not just talking. Oh, yeah, best is no, it don't work.
Okay. We'll be talking about that because at this time, you know, when I was starting, I told you guys we have a surprise coming. Mahu said, if we don't talk about the surprise now, we may get into the politics of Ghana politics and forget that we have an amazing surprise. I'm going to let Wuduma invite the next surprise. So, folks, we're taking a short break. When we come back, my son here will invite a surprise. Stick around, we'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Koji Sheldon. The head is big for a reason, and this is the KSM Show, and this is the platform. I don't have to do any introduction. You know what you are getting in return for your attention and your eyeballs. Quality content, entertaining content, informative content. You know, okay, you will find some for my channel, but you will find some here. So subscribe to the KSM Show channel, follow them on all their social platforms, and put them on post notification, and enjoy the content. Yes, we are out.
We're back. And I told you I was going to be introducing somebody, and I'm going to leave him to be responsible to introduce our next guest. Wode, it's on you, man.
You know, I'm your son, eh?
My son.
And I know you're known to do the best intros on shows. But I mean, I'm learning from you.
Okay.
You know, God used 7 days to create the world, right? It's the 6 days. On the 7th day, they said God rested. But I'm telling you, God never rests.
He didn't rest.
But God, on that 7th day, God intentionally created a beautiful queen for me. And that is the wife that like father, like
Oh, so that's a beautiful one. Hey, very good. And a hug here. Oh.
Now I wanted to get closer, you know, because I mean, when I was paying the bride price, you're not around.
No.
So you have to pay letter by letter. So you're still paying, by the way. And you give me more money to pay for it.
Show some love, man. The last time you came on my show, and I like this. You are not like a politician. You are not like a politician. Do you know why?
Oh wow!
You stick to your promise. Because you came and you said, KSM, I'm going to come back. I said, I want you to bring your wife to my show. And you said you would, and you have done it. on your politician. So, Trudy, right?
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
I'm so happy to be here.
And we are so happy to host you here. You know, you're from Kenya, I understand.
Yes, I am.
Okay. I'm not going to waste too much time. I just want all of us to start getting into this romance story. Who started it? Is it he saw you somewhere and hit on you, or you read something about him and hit on him? How'd the whole thing start?
So how it started, I was living my life, minding my business in Kenya, you know. And one day, something just tells me, you know, it's been so long since you entered Instagram, so just go and check
Instagram.
what's happening. So I go on Instagram, and I see a message from someone called Wode. And he's like, oh, I'm in Kenya, I would like to meet up and create content. So I say, oh, yeah, let's meet up and create content. But unfortunately, it was sent 3 months ago. I was like, I'm 3 months late because I hadn't been on Instagram for 3 months. So I was late. But he responded and said, I already left. Then he said, later he told me he'd be coming back to East Africa. He'd be coming to Ethiopia. So do I want to go to Ethiopia? And I'm like, you know, no. At that time, I wasn't doing so well. I was very confused. I was trying to create content. I wasn't making money in content creation. I was trying to determine where my life was going to go. So I was very depressed and confused, you know. And I also used to work in a supermarket as a sales girl. So I had just been fired. So I was just crying.
You were fired?
Yes, I was.
Wow.
Yeah, so I didn't know where my life was going. So this person is telling me, do you want to meet up? I'm like, you know what? No, I have my problems. Just leave me alone. I don't want to deal with this. But he insisted, begged me, please, please. So I was like, you know what? He has insisted. So let me just, you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
But
So-
a quick second. Woody, you just jumped onto her Instagram. Did you know her before? Was it things you were reading about her? What triggered that jump to her Instagram account?
So I was arrested in Kenya as a content creator. I was sent to Kenya to create content by China. So when I got there, I was arrested. I was filming a video, and apparently there was more of, it's called Westgate Mall. They had an attack in the mall. So they don't allow cameras in that area.
Okay.
And I didn't know. So when I got there, I got arrested. So when I was arrested and they released me, I was like, you know what, I don't want to be arrested again. So I went online looking for people who do exactly what I do, just to reach out to them, for them to, you know, they would know that, I mean, you can't film here, you can't film here.
Yeah.
So that I don't get arrested again.
So you're sort of looking like for a guide.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how I came across her videos. So I sent her a message, and I'm like, okay, I'm here, creating YouTube
What
videos.
video did you see?
That was when she was being a conductor,
yeah.
more like a tout in a matatu, what do you call, in Ghana we call
Okay.
trotro.
Okay.
So creating videos, I'm like, oh, I think I love her vibes. Why not just link up with her? Then I sent her a message and she never replied. Yeah.
And it was 3 months later, you say?
Yeah.
So pick it up again. I just wanted to do a short rewind.
So yes, so I was like, you know, what do I have to lose? I felt like I was at the bottom, so I can't go further. So I was like, okay, now let me just take the risk. I had saved up about $400. That's all my life savings at that point. So I decided to take a risk, go to Ethiopia. It was about $250 because we are neighbors, so it wasn't that expensive. And then I was like, I'm gonna pay my hotel, and the rest I'm gonna buy food, and then I'm gonna come back. So I go to Ethiopia. I meet him at the airport. He came for me, and he had flowers. No one had ever given me flowers in my life. I didn't even think flowers are a big deal until I saw the flowers and they were for me, and I was like, oh wow, that was so sweet. But that was just it for me. I was like, okay, let's go. Not knowing I had finished him at the airport. He saw me and he knew that's my wife.
Really?
Yeah.
Woody?
I love this version of the story.
What's your version?
No. There's only one version,
Okay.
and I love it.
But
Yeah.
so you were going to meet her for the first time.
Yeah, so I was going to meet her for the first time, but when I trusted her that she should meet me in Ethiopia, she declined it, right? So when she declined, I'm like, you know what? Okay, why not? I mean, I'm from Ghana, you know, we know how to get things done. So I was there when she texted me that I'm coming. And I'm like, okay. I said, why are you not excited that I'm coming? I'm like, you declined. So if you're telling me that you're coming, why should I be excited? You know, but I gave her the location of my hotel, everything, just come straight to the hotel. So she didn't know I was coming to pick her from the airport. So I was just there and I felt like, you know what, this lady is coming all the way from Kenya just to come and see you. Why are you acting like a Ghanaian boy, you know? Ghanaians sometimes, you're very stubborn, right? You know, if you say no to me, I also have to show to you that I'm a Ghanaian, you know?
Yeah.
But at some point, the Chinese spirit entered.
Yes.
Because I lived in China for 6 years, and that Chinese spirit is like, we give women flowers, teddy bear, and all of that.
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? Let me surprise her. Go to the airport, buy a flower, and I think the flower did the magic.
The flower did the magic, eh?
Yeah, the flower did the magic.
Trudy, when you saw the flowers, what happened?
It was the sweetest thing. One of the sweetest things anyone has ever done to me.
Wow.
You know, like some girls, you don't need expensive things. It meant a lot.
Wow.
Like, it was so sweet. But I didn't fall for him.
You didn't fall for him?
thing.
You didn't for him? I wanted to stop it right there. Folks, this is getting exciting. Please, you guys have to stay so that we can continue this. So folks, stick around, and we're going to do part 2 of the encounter between Trudy and Wode Maya coming soon. So until we come back your way, I'll sign off as I've always done. Even from when Wode Maya was crawling as a baby, the same way I was signing off. What do I say? I am out of. Let the whole world say, yeah.
The KSM Show.